All right, guys, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. My name is Polzin with 9 to 5 Sports. Going to be getting into the core plays here for Fanduel. Okay, now I already came out with the DraftKings core plays video. This is just going to be applying that knowledge from that video into Fanduel to make sure that you guys have a pretty good starting point for this week 11 slate. And I'm going to give you guys a first look build on Fanduel as well. Once again, if you guys enjoy the Fanduel coverage, let me know in the comment section below, because this is content I can put out there more. I just don't want to put out content that's redundant. I don't want to put out content that just feels like a fluff filler. Okay, I don't need to do that. You guys don't need to hear that as well. But if this is something that you guys enjoy and it is information that you can get actionable information from, then let me know. Okay, and then I'd be happy to put out more content for you guys. All right, let's get into it right now. All right, so like last week, I do see the value in just paying down at quarterback on Fanduel, because all the top plays are going to be priced up. Fields is priced up. We're on DraftKings. Like, it does make sense to play him on DraftKings on Fanduel. I don't know. Like, you could easily play Hurts or Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. You could usually go that route, but I have just been ending up on Dak Prescott, who is the cheapest of like the stud quarterbacks on this slate. So we can see the last two games for Dak since he's been back, 26 and 21 Fanduel points, which is obviously great. Gets a great matchup this week as well. With the Minnesota Vikings, another matchup that you think he'd be able to dominate against. Like the Green Bay Packers have been a tough pass defense, okay? And he just went off for 3 touchdowns and had 24 Fanduel points. Now, yes, he did throw 2 INTs, and they were bad INTs, okay? Could have had more. That's the biggest takeaway, is if he doesn't make those stupid mistakes, he could have had more production. He might have had another touchdown, and the Dallas Cowboys win. Against Chicago, good. So I do expect him to get 20 Fanduel points. I think he's the lowest priced quarterback that could easily break this slate, and that should go for 20 Fanduel points. So he's the Fanduel player that I want to pay down for, but also up for, because 7.6 is still a decent price point. And then from their running back wise, like, yes, I'm fine with Saquon Barkley. I'm fine with JT. You can play those guys. Dalvin Cook, like, he just went off against Buffalo. You would expect him to go off again against Dallas. Like, not a terrible matchup. Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon both had decent games against them. Like, yes, you can go that route. If Zeke is ruled out again, then Tony Pollard on Fanduel, even at this price point, because someone you're looking at. Rhamondre Stevenson, I do like as well. A little bit tougher of a play on Fanduel. He's a core play for me on the DraftKings video. He is someone that is more of a shoulder shrug play to me on Fanduel, where if you end up on him to close out your build, you need 3 running backs, or you want to have 3 running backs, and he is someone that you're falling onto, I'm good with that. The price is just a little bit too high for me to be really gung-ho about him as a play, especially with Damian Harris back, especially with, receptions not being as valuable on Fanduel. So that'd be a route in which you can go. But like I said, going to be more of a shoulder shrug play. The player that I want to end up on more is going to be Dameon Pierce. Just, cheaper, $500 cheaper. Obviously on Fanduel, a little bit more intriguing of a play. He's been a stud really this whole season. And the snap counts are there, about 80% of the snaps. Getting a ton of opportunities per game, 20 opportunities last week, 27 opportunities the week before that. Just consistently getting over 20 opportunities. This is a good matchup. It was strange, like last week on DraftKings, he was chalk. I thought that was strange chalk. But this week, a little bit better of a matchup, and it's just more likely that he's going to have a good game, and more likely that he's going to be able to get to maybe 15 Fanduel points, as opposed to just being happy with him getting, 10 Fanduel points. So yes, he's a play that I'm be going out of my way to play, especially at this price point. Then last week I gave you guys Devin Singletary as like a core play, top play on the Fanduel video that I put out, and that certainly worked out. 2 touchdowns in the first half, and then he really didn't do anything from that point on, which was a little bit alarming, a little bit worrisome. But once again, I do think that the thought process with Josh Allen being banged up is they don't want him to be taking unnecessary hits. So I think Devin Singletary's role as a goal line back, as really their only goal line back, is going to continue to be there for him. Nyheim Hines hasn't really came in and made any difference at all. Even in a game in which was a high-scoring game, maybe they wanted a little bit more of a pass catcher. It was actually Devin Singletary in the game. He is still seeing about 70 to 80% of the snaps. So as that is expected to continue in this matchup, Devin Singletary should be able to go off and have a great game. Like, this is a very cheap price point for a workhorse running back. I shouldn't say workhorse, that's not the right term, but a starting running back getting over 70% of the snaps with a strong chance to score, because that offense is a great offense, and a great offense, like, he should be a strong price point play once again on this slate. And then from there, yes, Diggs is going to be the highest priced receiver on this slate. Does make him a little bit more difficult to pay up for. That is why he's a much stronger play on DraftKings than he is on Fanduel. I'm perfectly fine paying up for him. Same thing with CD Lamb. Like, still should be a strong play for you on the slate. I do kind of like the idea of stacking Dak and Lamb together. That should be a profitable approach for you. We'll say Darnell Mooney, pretty cheap on FanDuel. It wouldn't be shocking to see him have a great game going against Atlanta. The cover boy from that DraftKings video was actually Drake London, because he gets a great matchup going against the Chicago Bears, a team that has just really struggled since they've made those trades on their defense, making them a lot weaker, making teams just be able to do whatever they want against them. Obviously, this is going to be a matchup-based play and a price point play. He's only like $600 more expensive on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings. That is very rare to see. So I like Drake London a lot, especially at this price point. He's a player that I'll be going out of my way to play on both slates. I'm very curious about Josh Reynolds potentially being back. Okay. Khalif Raymond has been playing a lot of snaps, but you saw Josh Reynolds have a lot of great games when he was active. Okay. Like a month stretch there where he was a stud. So could be someone you're looking at if the news breaks that way. Ben Skoranek, I do think is going to be a strong price point play on this slate. You could play him if you want to. I do just want to point out Isaiah Hodgins. Strangely enough, he came in and saw 65% of the snaps last week for the New York Giants. Okay. Recently signed. He is someone that did have a good preseason, just not with the Giants. All right. So it wasn't shocking to see that the Giants like him, but it was shocking to see him get 55 or 65% of the snaps. And now he gets a matchup with Detroit, a matchup that you've always been wanting to target this whole season. That's intriguing to me, guys. He scored 5.1 FanDuel points on a limited target share, only had 2 targets. So maybe in a better matchup, and if those snaps are still there, could be an interesting play, more of a value price point play, not really a core play, but someone that does open up a lot on your lineups. You could easily pay up for Saquon Barkley then, or maybe want to pay up for a slightly better quarterback play. He would open up a lot. Whereas like Skoranek and Kendall Hinton are easy plays, I would say value price point wise on DraftKings. Hodgins could be that, but we're also going to need to get that word prior to lineup lock that he is going to still be playing, because the Giants have done a lot of weird stuff with their receiver position. We don't know that'd be for sure there. So one thing I want to point out is that my favorite tight end play on DraftKings, who's just a cheap tight end play flyer, Lawrence Cager, who played 65% of the snaps with Daniel Bellinger out. He is listed as a receiver on FanDuel. Come on, FanDuel, what are we doing here? Come on, be better than that. It's frustrating. Thought we were going to get a cheap price point tight end play on both slate. He's listed as a receiver, but that should tell you guys why he's a good flyer and a good matchup. So really on here, I'd probably just roll with Foster Moreau, who's still pretty cheap. Greg Dulcich. Now, obviously, yes, if Mark Andrews is out, you're going Isaiah Likely. Logan Thomas is a cheap price point play. He's someone that I think will go off on Monday night, so he's someone you could look at. For now, I'm going to put Logan Thomas in there, expecting him to get 70% of the snaps and have a good game. He's going to be someone that people would want to chase then, obviously. On defense, it is a struggle, okay, for me. You could go Steelers, you could go Chicago, although I don't particularly love Chicago. For now, I'm going the Raiders. It's ugly, but going against Denver, who just, I don't know, they haven't been able to get right. And so I kind of like the idea of going with the Raiders. And then from there, we have 7.1 left over. I would say on FanDuel, Deonta Foreman is a shoulder shrug play as well. Someone you can end up on. You don't particularly love it, but at the same time, he could hold some value. Really, it's just whether this game stays close or not. Definitely someone you could look at. And let's just say, yes, Edwards is active for this game. I would still expect him to start. And then going against Carolina, he would be a strong play. He'd be a player that I want to go out of my way to play as well. But we do need to get that word that he's going to be active. If he is active, he's going to be a core play and someone I want to go out of my way to play, because price point wise should be very strong. And that is kind of the first look build for you guys. All right. Once again, if you enjoyed that FanDuel coverage, please let me know in the comment section below. A lot of people did do that, and that's why I'm coming out with this video. So, let's keep that up. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Let's have a good slate. If you guys want to become a 9 to 5 member, click the link in the description below. It gives you access to the 9 to 5 golf package, and then it gives you access to the add-ons, which are included in the membership for NFL and NBA DFS that give you access to the lineup optimizers for those sports. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Let's have a good slate, and as always, let's keep cashing.